Right now at 5, a local family's entire life turned upside down by a fire. How they're trying to get back on their feet.
Plus, a closer look at the race for Supreme Court in Wisconsin, why Elon Musk and others are pouring money into the campaign.
And as the White House pushes the mint to stop producing pennies, why some say a penny saved may be a pound foolish. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. The worst of the cold weather will soon be behind us.
We sure hope so, right? We're slowly climbing out of these bitterly cold temperatures. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington on the weather patio. He is on the weather patio.
Yeah, how about that?
Out in the elements. It's not too bad. We're feeling a bit of a warm-up.
Yeah, we're continuing to make progress on the patio. It actually isn't so bad. I was talking to one of our directors saying, oh, I don't know if I want to go out here. And then I got out here. It's not that bad. And I grew up in Wisconsin, so I should be used to this. I don't show this graphic very often, but I want to because it's important. It shows that our temperatures from 24 hours ago at this very moment to now are between 12, 13, 14 degrees warmer than where we were just at this moment 24 hours ago. So there you go. There's proof there that we've made progress. Current temperature right now in Madison, 24 degrees, 19 in Janesville, 22 in the Dells, 18 in Viroqua, and 19 in Platteville, and how about a 19 in Mineral Point right now. Here in Dane County, some of the warmest temperatures in southern Wisconsin. Again, this is about double where we were yesterday. We were right about 10 degrees, and here we are 12, 13 degrees warmer. Yet today, 24 in Madison, 23 in Stoughton, 22 in the community of Belleville, and 26 on the other side of the Wisconsin River Valley in Sauk City. As we plan our evening, temperatures sliding down into the single digits. We'll flirt with 0 for a low temperature tonight. One more cold night, and then the mercury keeps inching up and inching up and inching up. What's the warmest day in the next 10 days? That's coming up.
All right, Alex, thank you. A family is displaced after their home caught fire last week during a winter storm.
Now the family of 8 is looking for a place to stay. Our Tanasia Shaw spoke with the mother of the family, trying to pick up the pieces.
The Webbs are a family of 8. A daily, regular routine keeps everything afloat for them. That routine is now disrupted after their rental home caught on fire during a February snowstorm.
So how do I take some kids that has always been stable to a shelter?
Taisha Webb, her boyfriend, and their 6 children ages 18 to 9 are starting back from square one.
I had no clothing. Their dad, no clothing. No, my daughter, she went to school with Crocs on. You know, these kids, like, they don't like wearing shoes. So my daughter went to school with Crocs on. So when the snowstorm happened, you know, like her feet were wet.
If you were to drive by this home, you would barely see any damages from the outside. But family sent me photos that tell a different story.
We've been having electrical issues in this house. I don't think nobody was listening to me when I was telling them.
The fire started in the kitchen. Webb's oldest daughter was the only one home at the time. The Madison Fire Department estimated $30,000 worth of damages to the home.
I asked my daughter immediately, like, were you cooking? Like, what was you doing? She said, I only had been home for like 10 minutes. So and I know when they come in, they go directly to their room. Like, this is every day we have the same routine.
Now, Webb is trying to figure out how to make ends meet in Madison, a city that already has backlash because of housing prices.
I feel like the prices is way too high, you know, for the amount of money that we're making at work. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not adding up.
It's not adding up.
I reached out to the landlord of the property, and they did not have a comment. The Madison Fire Department said the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanasia, thank you. Webb said the community has helped her throughout this process, and we'll have a link to the Webb family's GoFundMe on our website.
2 people are in the hospital after a school bus crash in Milwaukee. Police there say a vehicle ran a stop sign, crashed into the bus, causing it to flip over on its side there. Only the bus's driver was inside at the time. Both the bus driver and the driver of the other vehicle have non-life-threatening injuries. The incident is still under investigation.
Madison Metro is expecting some disruptions to its services today. Public transit officials say it's due to an extreme number of driver absences. It's unclear which specific routes are affected or what are the extent of the delays?
The conservative nonprofit backed by Elon Musk is getting involved in Wisconsin's Supreme Court race. That group, Building America's Future, is spending $1.6 million on TV ads backing candidate Brad Schimmel. The spending comes after Musk posted a message last month on X, drawing attention to the race, calling for Schimmel to win. Now, Schimmel's opponent, Susan Crawford, who's backed by Democrats, reacting to the funding in a statement saying, quote, Elon Musk and other right-wing billionaires are pouring money into this race because they can bank on Brad Schimmel to protect their corporate dominance, restrict reproductive freedoms, and take our state backward at the expense of ordinary Wisconsinites, end quote. Now, Schimmel addressed the donation in a statement of his own, reading, quote, it should be they're supporting you because they like the things that you stand for, not because they're buying some end result. And that's the only way it's going to work, right? I can't do anything to stop the money that comes into these races, end quote. Now, the race will come to an end on April 1st and will decide the balance of Wisconsin's Supreme Court.
Wisconsin's Attorney General Josh Kaul has joined a coalition to defend the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB is an independent agency that oversees big banks, lenders, and credit card companies, ensuring that those institutions are following federal laws. Earlier this month, the Trump administration directed the CFPB to stop all of its ongoing work and to not begin any new investigations. The coalition argues the administration's efforts to destroy the agency could prevent consumers from reporting issues of fraud or deception. The IRS is expected to fire about 6,000 workers. That's according to a source familiar with the agency's plans. The source said the government workers who will lose their jobs were more recently hired by the Biden administration and are still on probationary status. The firings come less than 2 months before the April 15th tax deadline for Americans to file their taxes with the IRS.
Well, you've heard the saying, find a penny, pick it up, but that coin could be on the chopping block.
Last week, President Trump said he told the Treasury Department to stop minting the 1-cent coin. Our Ellie La Liberté shows us why and what coin collectors in Madison have to say about it.
President Trump says it does make sense to get rid of the coin. To make 1 cent, it costs nearly 4.
If they slowly fade out of existence, I don't think anybody's gonna miss them.
I just don't necessarily see an urgency to keep it in our currency.
They say there's 2 sides to every coin. And to some, the 1 cent is more than a pretty penny.
Nothing better than collecting money. It's the best hobby in the world.
Ken Meyer is a 4th-generation coin collector.
So this is 95% copper. This is 1982 and later. That's copper-plated zinc.
He says there's talk in Madison's coin collecting community over the potential loss of the 1-cent coin.
So it's just in the beginning phase of all this.
But Ken has other reasons for being interested in its future.
It also piqued the interest of the hobby, where people will be able to collect history of the wheat cent and the Lincoln Memorial that no longer exist if it does get taken away from us.
Pennies are the most produced coin by U.S. Mint, making roughly $3.2 billion last year. But Ken says it isn't popular.
There's a lot of people that even throw the coins away because they're not worth anything for the zinc, but not, to be honest, zinc is starting to go up in price.
And his 2 cents on the issue?
So if they get rid of the coin, it's not the end of the world, I don't think, if you want my opinion. It's just gonna help round up or round down to the nearest nickel.
Reporting in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. The process to discontinue the penny is unclear. However, Congress does have the power over currency specifications, including the size and material, and could make Trump's order permanent in law. The Secretary of the Treasury may also be able to stop production of the cent.
Northland College in Ashland, that's up near Lake Superior, is shutting its doors at the end of the academic year. The school's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to close the college. It's due to declining enrollment and soaring costs. It had already cut staff and limited academic offerings to help offset some of those costs, but the board said it no longer sees a sustainable path forward. The announcement taking some students by surprise.
Kind of hurt, had to go to class right after I found out the news, so it was definitely a dreadful day. There was really no warning, not a lot of information given to us prior to the news, but right away it was definitely a big hit to the chest.
Northland was founded back in 1892. It became the first college to fully integrate an environmental focus within its liberal arts curriculum.
Retail giant Walmart is warning of slower sales this year. The company announcing today its sales and profit growth is expected to decrease this year, partly due to inflation ticking back up and President Trump's tariffs. Walmart's projected outlook is a signal for the rest of the retail industry that 2025 will be a rockier year. Consumer prices rose 0.5 percentage point last month from December. That's the fastest pace in more than a year. A new poll shows a significant portion of Americans find investing in the stock market daunting. A Bankrate survey shows 21% of Americans prefer not to invest in stocks because they say it's intimidating. Business analysts say one of the keys to investing is to diversify among different asset classes so that you can weather a downturn in any one of those areas.
Appreciate your risk tolerance, like how much you can stand, how much time you have before you need the money. That will determine how much you want in the risky stuff like stocks and how much you want to keep in the cash stuff or the bonds.
If you're looking at a retirement plan, analysts suggest a target date fund, which automatically shifts between stocks or bonds and cash as the retirement date gets closer. And on Wall Street today, red numbers across the board as the Dow Jones slides more than 450 points. The Nasdaq loses 94 and the S&P 500 closes down more than 26 points.
And still ahead at 5, winter storms continue to hit southern states hard.
And barbs are being traded between President Trump and Ukraine's leader. This as European nations worry about the ongoing negotiations for peace with Russia.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5, moving forward.
Welcome back. It's been a month now since Donald Trump took office for his second term as president.
And according to a new CNN poll, Americans are divided on President Trump's performance in office so far. The poll conducted by SSRS shows President Trump's approval rating at 47%. More than half of people polled say the executive has gone too far in using his presidential power, and about 51% are worried about his push to shut down federal agencies. A war of words has erupted between President Trump and Ukraine's president. It comes as the president's envoy traveled to Ukraine for meetings. Following talks this week between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his Russian counterpart, the Trump administration is trying to push back on European allies' concerns that Ukraine has been left out of negotiations. The Trump administration is also pushing Ukraine to sign off on a proposal to give the U.S. access to the country's rare earth minerals.
The Senate has confirmed Kash Patel to serve as director of the FBI. Patel's nomination was approved in a party line vote, 51-49. Only 2 Republican senators voted against confirming him. FBI directors are appointed to 10-year terms, but they can be removed by the president. Chris Wray, who was appointed in 2017, resigned at the end of the Biden administration after President Trump had pledged to fire him. And former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell made the announcement today he will not seek re-election. The longtime Republican power broker from Kentucky received a round of applause on the Senate floor after sharing his decision with his colleagues. The widely expected announcement comes several months after Senator McConnell gave up his leadership role. It follows a string of recent health problems.
Dozens of schools in North Carolina and Virginia are closed today following a heavy snowstorm. Kentucky is still feeling the effects of the storm today. A salt truck overturned on the side of the road in Lexington. In Virginia, state police said treacherous conditions led to more than 400 crashes. Virginia Beach got a rare 10 inches of snow, the most that region has seen since 2010. Boy, it's been rough in the South this winter, and for us, we're coming out of the deep freeze slowly but surely.
40-degree weather on the horizon. Here's Alex with more on when it'll arrive.
On the horizon, it is just a few days away. And before we get to the good stuff here, and not that snow isn't good stuff because we could use the moisture, just look at the extent of snow cover across the United States. About 60% of the United States is covered with some form of snow, which goes to show you how deep that cold air mass that we've been experiencing the past couple of days has slipped that far to the south. But let's talk about progress here. Susan, I know you're going to like this one here. The sunset tracker right now, 5:35 p.m. right now is when the sun sets. By the time we get into the middle of March, 7:03 p.m. And by the time we get into May, 8 o'clock. And look at our weather cam right outside right now. Our first one weather cam here, Edgewater, kind of hard to see because the sun is shining right into it right now at 24 degrees. The wind chill is 16, so we actually don't have sub-zero wind chills at this point in time. Track the evening here, falling through the teens. We'll see those single-digit wind chills by the time we get a little bit later into evening. One more cold night ahead, one more freezing day ahead, but it is incremental progress. I just showed you earlier in first weather, we've climbed by 13 degrees in 24 hours. And speaking of 24 in Madison, 24 right now. Down the road in Middleton, 25 to the north, up towards Wanakee into Forest. We got a sprinkling of 22s from Camp Douglas down the Wisconsin River to the Dells, to Lone Rock, west to Boscobel. And we got 19 to the east towards Janesville. So slow progress. The wind chills will be even just a touch warmer, still below zero. So mind you, you're going to have to bundle up Friday morning again. But this isn't the 20, 30 below zero wind chill stuff that we've been seeing the past couple of mornings. Overnight lows tonight will do anywhere between 0 and 2 or so. Could see some localized areas getting below zero, especially in the Wisconsin River Valley like Prairie du Chien at -3. And then there we go, kind of a repeat on Friday, but sunny skies, temperatures in the lower to middle 20s, maybe a few upper teens yet in far southwest Wisconsin. But this is slow and incremental change. And well, let's do a history lesson with our temperatures. You're going to see the roller coaster going back into the early part of the month. Temperatures were above normal. That's where you see the reds here. And then as we move towards the middle of the month, we had a plunge with our temperatures around the 12th and the 13th of February. We saw temperatures below normal. We rose just a little bit, and then there was the most recent crash with our temperatures averaging about 20 to 25 degrees below normal for this time of year. Eric said, when do we get the 40? We're going to get that 40 close to by Sunday, and then early part of next week, lower to middle 40s to start off. And those temperatures, as we get out into next week, showing you this progress, are going to be pushing between 5 and 10 degrees above normal for a change. So that's a treat to have. We will have a scattered shower and rain shower and snow shower activity chance early next week, but we're not looking at any big storms. More on our snow drought, though, coming up in the 6 o'clock newscast.
All right, Alex, thank you. Coming up, a sweet treat bandit out of Nebraska goes viral. The bizarre story about how this possum ended up in cake rehab.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, have you ever had a meal that was so good that you just kept eating even though you were no longer hungry and then you felt sick?
Do you really need to ask?
What day is it? Right. That's what happened to a Nebraska possum recently. It ate an entire chocolate cake.
And its ensuing sickness and immobility went viral, making the animal an internet star and earning it the name Cake Bandit. Eddie Messel reports.
It was just like any other night for Kim Doggett and her family, leaving some food on their deck with the cold temps outside when her son noticed something on the couch.
I'm thinking he's messing with me, and nope, that possum is curled up on our sectional couch. We had just gotten it, so it's like new to us, and it's like white, kind of like a lighter color, and there's these chocolate possum footprints all over it.
Those chocolate footprints coming from this Costco tuxedo cake.
And I look on the ground, and he had knocked the Costco cake on the ground, had ate most of it. I guess it's a she.
After a few unsuccessful attempts to move the opossum, Doggett noticed something was wrong.
Then we noticed it was kind of under distress. So a little bit of panting, not moving, kind of hissing a little bit at us.
That's when a call to the Humane Society was made. Animal Control showed up and was able to successfully remove the opossum and get her checked in at Nebraska Wildlife Rehab. With this note upon her arrival, opossum brought in due to having eaten an entire Costco chocolate cake.
The opossum story is really relatable. Like, who doesn't want to eat a whole chocolate cake?
From there, the opossum Cake Bandit was born, taking the internet and the world by storm after posts on social media amassing over 17,000 reactions and counting.
It's funny to see the comments on social media, and I think a lot of people might have said that an opossum is their soul animal before, but I think this kind of excuse the pun, took the cake for a lot of people.
Comments like this one. To be fair, if I ate a whole Costco chocolate cake, I would probably be panting too. All now leading to these wanted Cake Bandit t-shirts. All the funds going directly to the care of their wildlife. The good news, the Cake Bandit is now recovering and now actually being treated for an underlying condition of lead toxicity.
So luckily we were able to get her in time, and she's being treated for that condition. And it'll take a little bit of time and some monitoring of her blood work, but she should be releasable probably in late March or early April.
As the Cake Bandit continues her recovery, they say she is a little cranky about the zero chocolate policy.
It's my spirit animal there.
Yeah. I don't want anybody taking video of me after I've had that much chocolate cake. We'll be right back. Final check of your First One forecast.
The White House says it's targeting waste and abuse in the government, so why cut workers who just started their jobs?
And in our Eye on America, the future of the Navy's dominance at sea may be in the hands of high schoolers in Connecticut. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Well, today's a very special day for animals all across the country. It is National Love Your Pet Day, the holiday focusing on giving your pets some extra TLC and plenty of treats.
Alex, that's Loki, isn't it?
Close.
It looks just like him.
Close.
Wow, very close. Well, whether it's a cat, a dog, or even a bearded dragon, that's Eddie. That's our producer Abe's dog.
There he is.
That's who it was in his cute little hat.
Got his sombrero on.
That is priceless. Today, give your pets some few extra treats or let them snuggle up on the couch for a little while.
I'm sure my dog is there right now.
Boy, Loki and Eddie look a lot alike.
They have that brindle look to them.
Yeah. You have to get a hat for Loki like that.
He likes his bandanas. He does look pretty good in bandanas.
Would he keep a hat on?
Will he keep a hat on? I don't think so. Not for very long. We did give him a vest years ago, and he tore that thing apart. So
well, soon the dog walking will be a little more comfortable.
Oh, yes, we can get our dogs out for a little bit longer of a walk. Really starting tomorrow, we look at our 10-day temperatures. We'll be back into the 20s tomorrow, 30 by Saturday, 40 by Sunday, and then in the 40s next week. I don't see any big cold snaps in the near term. We will have some rain shower and some snow shower activity early next week, but none of those storms are looking appreciable, meaning none of those storms are looking like big rainmakers or snowmakers. And we'll talk a little bit more about our snow drought coming up in the 6 o'clock newscast. Our drought conditions are continuing to evolve, but I want to talk a little bit about how much snow we've seen in southern Wisconsin, and much of the upper Midwest could use a little bit more water. So we could use some more snow, and more on the statistics at 6.
Okay.
All right, Alex, thanks. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.